Hi guys, this is Rapski from the AK Operators Union. Today we're going to install the full length Troy Industries rail and their upper portion, which is a railet gas tube. We're going to do on this nice AKM. This is how these rails are coming in the big boxes. This is the top rail basically, and the long rail will come in a long box like this. So the packaging is very nicely made. Tools required for the installation: I strongly suggest to use the hammer, little bit for the tightening the set screws. It's a USA 3.0 size. I have some extension for it, I'll explain later why. Some nice extension for the punching tool, and two screwdrivers. I got them only because they will be needed for my muzzle device here. Other than this, you should be ready to go. You may want to use the flexible extension for the bits, for the hex screws, for the hex drive a bit. If you got one, awesome. If you don't, I'll show you the little trick how you can, cheat a little bit with the installation and get it done without that hex extender, a flexible hex extender. Other than this, that's it. These are the tools required for the installation. Nothing really complicated. So let me start disassembling the weapon and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so the weapon is fully disassembled right now. This is how the rail looks. Basically fresh out of the box. These rail sections, so let me talk about the rail sections a little bit. I strongly suggest attaching these short pieces right now when you have basically a handguard separated from the weapon, because it is much easier to do it right now than struggle later and trying to fit those screws and the bracket behind them to the handguard and do it when the handguard is installed already on the weapon. Also, at this point or after the installation, it really doesn't matter. You can add these so-called squids. These are really great. They protect your hands from the heat. They are heat resistant, and you can plant them on the weapon in any place where you see those openings. They basically fit to it. So I'll add these after the installation when I'm done, so I can try it, to see how my hand is going to sit on that handguard, and then I can choose the best spots to plant them on the handguard. But basically this is how the handguard looks like it. This is the rear end of the Troy handguard, which is going to slide into the opening of the receiver. This is very, straightforward part. Basically, all you gotta do is navigate right now that handrail and the front post through the openings, so this will fit on the rifle. One note, very important note: this extended length handguard will not fit on the newer AK-74s, which they have that fat end for the 24mm muzzle devices. So this extended handrail fits only on the 14-1 left hand slim ends on the front post. If you have AK-74, as I said, with the 24mm end, and it's easy to recognize them, they are much thicker. This is not going to work for you, and this is why, because this is what you gotta do right now. You have to move this like that, navigate through the opening, and boom, we are ready to start pushing the handguard to the receiver. But that maneuver, as you saw me doing it, this is if you have that fat end after the front post, there is not enough room, there is not enough opening here in that handrail to accomplish this without some heavy modifications. So just take a note: if you have AK-74, you're not going to be able to do this. Okay, now as you can see, that rail almost slide in on her own to the receiver. So that's nothing complicated here. This is how it's going to set. And we are moving to the most complicated phase. The most complicated phase of this installation process is basically to slide in the front handguard retention bracket to the two adjustment blocks, which are driven by little set screws buried inside the rail. This is why you may need to have that flexible extender for the hex bit if you want to make your life easier. If not, I'll show you how you can play around it. Basically, right now I just want to make sure that everything fits. I see it looks nicely, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to preset the length a little bit for these two set screws. I'll push that tension bracket outside so I can get a better idea where my retention bracket for the handrail is gotta go. Okay, so let me do this now. Basically freed up the rail a little bit, and this is where that extension I was talking about. This is not the flexible one, this is a rigid one, but if you got the flexible one it will be much easier. But I'm going to set these set screws right now, a little bit push forward the tension bracket by turning the screws right, one screw and the other one, so they both go equally. I think that's kind of enough. Okay, once you have that preset length, more or less, don't be very precise, done, you can start hammering the front retention bracket towards hammer towards these tension blocks inside the rail. So let me basically do this. I'm holding the rail like this. Again, nothing complicated. I'm using my little tool here, aluminum tool, and I'm going to use the hammer to push that front bracket down. Basically keep switching the sides a little bit to give it a equal push to it. Be gentle, but not too gentle. It's AK, it can take a beating. And keep working your way down towards the slot on the barrel, where you can basically lock the lever in the closed position. It may take a few minutes, but eventually you will get there. So basically make sure that the front handguard retention bracket, original part on your AK rifle, will slide in to these two blocks, one on each side, and these blocks are adjusted by these little set screws which we're talking about. So right now, as you can see, I still have a gap. Lever is already closed, but I still have a gap on the right and the left side, and now it's a really good idea to have that flexible tool so you can slide it in and adjust the screws. If you don't have it, you have to pull the handguard a little bit, unlock it from the unlock the lever, push it out, and keep adjusting the screws until you will have them in a place like they're really touching the bracket and nothing moves. So I'll adjust this in a second, and we'll go from there. So basically I'm again unlocking my lever, pulling rail out, and this is how I'm going to cheat with my little tool. As I said, this is not the best tool you can get. I would strongly advise you to buy the correct tool for this, these adjustable hexes, but check it out. I'm working nicely on this, pushing out. Let me switch the side. And you have to continue to do this on both sides. Remember, you got the set screw on the right and on the left till that adjustment is fully done. Okay, so after adjusting these two set screws, this is what you want to have. See how tight these two blocks, one on the left, one on the right side, they are touching basically the front retention bracket, and the rail in this moment it should be very rigid, nothing should be moving, and this is what you want to have. This is the hardest part of the installation, to set these two set screws to the desired length, and it would be much easier if I'll have the correct tools. I couldn't find them in the local stores, so I had to improvise a little bit, and I had to keep removing that lower portion of the rail and then accessing the set screws, setting up. So it's kind of pain in the ass process, but once you have nice tools, this should go fairly quickly, easy, and painlessly. So that being said, we are done with the lower part of the rail. We don't need the hammer or the my screwdriver anymore. This is the best part. This is what you're going to install right now. This is the top portion of the Troy rail, and look at this, guys. It's fully adjustable for the length. So sometimes I know that the people butcher it a little bit, the conversions on their side gas, and the gas block is a little bit either too much inside or too much outside, and you have problems with gas tubes, and people are grinding off sometimes the rear of the gas tube to manage to fit into the trunnion and to make the system works. This takes that extra work if something went wrong with the conversion away, because you can adjust the length. Basically, you are screwing in the tube or screwing out, and you can regulate your own desirable length. What is this? This rail is a fully, it replaces your gas tube too. So this is a drop-in replacement for the gas tube, and you have a rail section on the top. I like this a lot. This is a very cool design. So basically what I'm going to do now, I'm going to screw in as little as possible, and then I'm going to fit it into the trunnion. Okay, so it locks into the trunnion nicely. Make sure everything looks cool here on the side. At this point you can even lock your locking lever for the gas tube retention. You don't need that thing anymore. And what's going to happen right now is I'm going to play with adjusting the length of my gas tube. So basically hold it in place, keep screwing out, and see what's happening. This main screw locks on the gas block, just like this. See? And it's all tight already, nothing moves. It's a very simple system. And then you have the little castle nut on the top, which will lock this rail in position. And I strongly suggest to get the wrench to adjust, to tighten the castle nut, and this should prevent everything from unscrewing. I have run, when we were running the 90 rounds test, that gas tube didn't even move with my just hand tight adjustments. But I strongly advise you to get the wrench for the small size castle nut to you know, basically lock this gas tube in position. And that's it. That's how the installation of the upper portion went. Smooth and easy, as I said. You cannot make it this any easier than this. Now the last portion of the basic installation will be the assembling the weapon. Okay, so this is how the rifle looks like it. This is basically what I was talking about, the placement of these squids, so your hand is has some extra protection. These are heat resistant, so they fit nicely. You should always wear gloves anyhow, but they give you the extra layer of protection. And also, as you can see, these preset rail sections, you still can do this right now. You could kind of, you know, fit your fingers, lock it, and try to install these rails. But why make it your life much more difficult if you can do this before the installation of the handguard? So that's what I would strongly advise, to set these little rail sections before you will begin the installation. So that's the whole rifle. The last thing what I would strongly advise you to do is you can get these markers even at the Walmart, and basically mark that position of that castle nut. Do the little line like this, so you will know if the castle nut is moving or not, if you have to tighten it or not. That's pretty much it. This is the whole installation process for the Troy Industries extended length rail and their top raylet gas tube. That's it, guys. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and talk to you soon. Thank you.